Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Mine Conkbayir and I'm an early years author, consultant and researcher. During this Research Bite session, I'm going to share one of my latest research projects, Child's Play Helping Children of Prisoners Overcome Trauma, with you. But before I begin, I feel it's important to contextualise the resources and consequent research project for you. I produced the three resources, which are a therapeutic children's storybook, its accompanying adult guide, and an interactive story/video game to help children process the trauma of having a parent in prison. So the storybook is called Mine's ACE Adventures, and ACE is an acronym for Adverse Childhood Experiences, hence the play on the term in the title. Its accompanying guide and interactive story are essentially there to support the story, but the game in particular is also a standalone product. The storybook and the adult guide, as well as the game, are packed full of practical self-regulation strategies for the child to use when they are feeling sad, angry, and overwhelmed. There are specific strategies to use to overcome feelings of fear and apprehension, specifically in the run-up to visiting their parent in prison. Upon completion of the game, specifically, the child can access a certificate and a fun PDF of all the self-regulation strategies that are shown in the game. Importantly, I don't want people to think that this is just another doctor theorizing about something they don't have any clue about. I find that quite offensive sometimes if it's not done correctly and sensitively. The story is based on me. Maya represents me and my childhood. When I was 10 years old, my father, and I use the term extremely loosely, was imprisoned for 12 years for heroin smuggling to the tune of over £1 million. He was deported on the day I started my A-levels. But of course, ACEs don't exist in isolation. My childhood was littered with incidents of him beating my mum, smashing her eye socket, breaking her arm, stabbing her, all sorts of domestic abuse, absolute carnage that I witnessed, as well as the financial abuse. And it was tough. And as a child with a parent in prison, I had nothing and no one to help me process this trauma. I therefore wanted to produce something that might facilitate a process of healing for children affected by this ACE. And importantly, the resources were in part designed with the feedback of children who have a parent in prison and their family member, all of whom, I'm delighted to say, gave them a thumbs up. And they achieved finalists actually in the Teach Primary Awards under the Best Send resource for children. So I'm keen to capture the efficacy of these resources. And this leads me to the inception and structure of my research, which I will now outline. So it's a small-scale qualitative mixed method approach evaluation study, and it's a form of theoretically informed and participatory evaluative research located in early help and early intervention strategies. It will explore how story and play serve as a protective factor, of which, by the way, there are many in the story Maya's ACE Adventures and its adult guide that I'm hoping children and their carers will pick up on. And it's essentially to help facilitate post-traumatic growth, specifically for primary school age children affected by parental imprisonment. A program theory will be developed to inform the implementation and impact of these resources when used with this marginalised group of children. I say marginalised because there are over 312,000 children affected by parental imprisonment, and there is no official system support net to identify and help these children, which I think is a crime itself. A dissemination strategy for the project findings will include reflective workshops, conferences, social media platforms, blogs, and a series of publications, including academic and professional articles and a commissioned book published by Bloomsbury. The participatory research is designed around mixed method evaluative case study methodology, which puts children's voices and experiences at the center of the research process. And as I mentioned earlier, our voices as children, I don't recall them ever being sought or listened to. The research objectives and questions. As mentioned, the project aims to document and evaluate the implementation process and impact of my set of therapeutic resources, and to develop a program theory designed to support children who have been exposed to ACEs, particularly parental imprisonment. Specifically, my study is going to explore 5 key questions. 1, how are the resources and support program experienced and utilized by children who are affected by parental imprisonment? How does the child respond to the resources and program? What difference, if any, does it make to the child's resilience, well-being, and recovery over time? And it's a 9 to 12-month study. How are the resources and support program experienced and utilized by their parent or carer and other supportive adults? And 5, how might a program theory be developed from the wider evidence base and application of these resources in real time to inform the further development of the resources and shared more widely to encourage and inform further support programs and resources designed to support children affected by parental imprisonment? In a meeting just yesterday with a senior Criminal Justice Service member of staff, he made it very clear to me. He said that children who have a parent in prison are in no way a priority for the government. If anything, it's left to the Department of Education. Now, if any one of you should follow me on social media, which I doubt, you will see that I have had personal run-ins with the DFE, and I think they need to be abolished, basically. So the situation is bad, very bad. The 3-phase project will have 3 work strands, each of which will draw on mixed methods to facilitate triangulation and enhance the rigor of my study. The study will begin with a systemic rapid review to map an initial program theory and then follow 10 children affected by parental imprisonment, their families, as well as their supportive adults, for the duration of 9 months to evaluate the effectiveness of implementation and impact of my 3 elements of the therapeutic resources designed to facilitate the development of resilience as part of post-traumatic growth and healing. The intention is to compile and then analyze 10 case studies for transferable evidence about effective intervention and support strategies for children affected by parental imprisonment. The final phase focuses on the development of a transferable program theory, which will be used during a knowledge transfer and dissemination process to stimulate the further development and rollout of additional bespoke programs to support children affected by parental imprisonment. At the heart of my research methodology is the compilation and analysis of 10 fine-grained case studies, which will be used to track each child over an extended period, 9 months, to document how they're able to continue to use the strategies learned through participating in the program in order to self-regulate and manage their daily lives with increasing confidence and agency. As children with a parent in prison, we had no voice, and we certainly had no agency. We're dragged from pillar to post, got to do this on this. They got to see him or her on that day and got to miss school. And, school for us, or for me, It was a safe base. It was my routine, my regularity. I knew what to expect. I could look forward, therefore, to certain things on certain days. And I didn't have that as a child. That was taken away from me, and I'll never have those days back. So it's important for me to capture that and help children who are going through this now to have it, to create it with the adults around them. So it will also be used to document how the supportive adult implements the program with the child, and to document how the child's family and their supportive adult evaluates the impact of the program on the child and their family. The case studies will be informed by the rapid evidence review, and it will feed into the knowledge transfer and dissemination process. The research design. The research is going to be collected to compile 10 extended case studies of children who experience the implementation and impact, critically, of the 3 therapeutic resources over the 9-month period. The study will have 3 phases of data collection and analysis to complete the 10 case studies, with a final phase of meta-analysis, dissemination, and, importantly, knowledge transfer. Work strand 1 will be the rapid evidence review, i.e. the initial program theory. Work strand 2 will be the compilation of 10 child case studies. Work strand 3 will be the meta-analysis of case studies and evidence review report, development of transferable program theory. Finally, it will be the dissemination and the transfer of knowledge. The research methods. The data for the study will be collected through the 3 work strands using 8 key data collection, analysis, and dissemination methods, each of which corresponds to the 5 research questions here. 1. A rapid evidence review will be undertaken to learn how and why the existing small number of targeted interventions work to improve a child who has been affected by parental imprisonment to self-regulate and manage their daily lives with increasing agency, confidence, and to develop resilience in different contexts, and to capture this knowledge in a program theory. Assessment of the child's resilience and well-being using the Leuven well-being scale. This assessment will be done at 2 points in the study, initially upon recruitment and at the end of the 9-month study period. It will be done through documenting through reflective interviewing, the use and experience of the supportive adult sharing the 3 therapeutic resources with the child in real time. Documentation over a 9-month period, the experience, responses, and impact on children who engage with the 3 therapeutic resources using multimodal documentation adapted from the mosaic approach. Semi-structured interviews will be used with the child's parents and family members and their supportive adult to explore the child's changes in their agency, resilience, and recovery and well-being over that 9-month period as a result of engaging with those 3 resources. A series of 2 expert advisor focus groups and 2 invitation-only program theory workshops will be undertaken to explore themes from the rapid evidence review and the case studies and check transferability of the learning to wider early intervention strategies and programs, because at present, there is nothing in any literature to enable professionals to better support children, specifically who have a parent in prison. They're absolutely clueless. They have no understanding of what this means for the child and how it impacts them neurobiologically, behaviorally, and therefore how it impacts their well-being. Thematic analysis of the 10 case studies will be undertaken to draw out transferable lessons for the development of therapeutic strategies to support children affected by parental imprisonment. A dissemination and knowledge transfer program of work will be undertaken so that the wider public can access this easily. Development of materials for dissemination will be written up for publication in a commissioned book entitled so far, The Invisible Child, Understanding the Impact of Parental Imprisonment, and that's just been given the official go-ahead by Bloomsbury, which I am ecstatic about. An academic journal article, a professional journal article, and a series of blogs and podcasts. The research participants, there will be 3 sets of participants in the study. One cohort of, as I mentioned, 10 children who have been affected by parental imprisonment, their parent or family members, and their supportive adult. Working in collaboration with Prison Advice and Care Trust, PACT, one cohort of 10 primary school-age children affected by parental imprisonment and their supportive adult will be recruited for the study. A participation information leaflet will be provided to potential participants outlining the project and its aims, requesting their participation in the study, while clearly stating the option to withdraw without any fear of any consequence at any point of the project. They'll also be offered free copies of the books and the game at no charge. The criteria for children recruited in the study will be obviously being affected by parental imprisonment, having a parent or family member who is willing and able to participate in the project with the child, having a trained supportive adult who is willing and able to participate in the project. It could be a family support worker. They provide general support to children and families on prison visiting. It might also be a social worker or a family engagement worker, whatever is relevant to that child. They can be of mixed gender, of diverse ethnicity. And during the recruitment process, no family will be discriminated against, particularly with regard to the nature of the imprisoned parent's crime. Obviously, we each have our own moral compass, and some crimes, hey, I can understand that, that's fine. And some are just disgusting and we cannot even bear the thought, and no way, but yes way, we have to exercise an open mind and look beneath what is going on. Why was it going on? So it includes, but isn't exclusive to, those convicted of childhood sexual abuse, rape, and domestic abuse. Therefore, the ethics in this project, participation in the study will be completely voluntary for children and adults. Informed consent and ongoing assent will be secured from all participants. A guarantee of anonymity and confidentiality will form part of the consent process for everyone. All documentation will be anonymized and pseudonyms will be used in all reporting. Particular care will be taken to ensure distributed powered relationships with all participants, with special care taken to ensure children who are participating are carefully listened to and their voices authentically documented. I don't recall ever being listened to as said child with a parent in prison. So for it to happen, I'm sure I would have been completely stunned and like, whoa, how do you even deal with this? Children's and family participants' well-being will be secured through the active involvement of the trained supportive worker. Myself and my colleagues will have ongoing responsibility for supporting the children and families in relation to this project throughout the study period, with the trained support worker and PACT undertaking their responsibilities with regard to these families as they normally would do beyond the study period. All field work will be conducted in accordance with CREC Code of Ethics, ASERA's Code of Ethics, And all documentation will be anonymized and pseudonyms will be used in all reporting, as I mentioned. All research tools will be designed so that participants receive accessible and thorough information about the project and how their data will be stored and used, meaning that they can make informed decisions about whether to participate and how they can withdraw from the study should they wish to do so. No identifying information will be used in the project write-up or subsequent dissemination. The identification of all participants will be secured by anonymizing all collected data, and again, the use of pseudonyms in all reports. Personal details will only be gathered as required according to GDPR regulations and stored separately from project data at all times. No identifying information will be used in the project write-up at any point for any reason. And the final report should be submitted in March 2025, which I'm very excited about. I do believe this is a worthy research study to undertake. I just think it should be far more common practice. Just today, I had someone connect with me saying that they're doing a research study on female prisoners and the impact on their young children, birth to 3. And we were talking about how difficult it is to penetrate the criminal justice system and to offer our support a lot of the time for free, because it goes back to my point I made earlier, which was confirmed by seniors in the criminal justice system. Children who have a parent in prison, they don't matter. By dint of their parents' crimes, without thinking why were they compelled to do that, they don't matter. And they know it. I still know it and I still feel it at this age and at this stage. Trust me, we're scum because our parents are viewed as scum. And I am just trying in my own way to help smash that stigma. Thank you for listening.